In the depths of societal discontent, a spark ignites the flames of rebellion. Fueled by the fierce fire of independent thinking. Reality versus rhetoric. Veiled and unveiled souls dare to question the status quo, to challenge the narratives spoon-fed by authority. With each grievance, with each injustice, the resolve strengthens, forging a path towards rebellion. Challenging the legitimacy of the powers that be. Fault-finding becomes a sacred ritual, a means to dissect the layers of deceit and manipulation woven into the tapestry of power. In the crucible of introspection, creators fight with the decision to wield their fury as a weapon. The choice? Passive acceptance or aggressive defiance. As the veil of apathy is torn apart, a primal instinct surges forth, demanding justice, demanding accountability. Oppression no more, they turn their gaze towards the corridor of power. And so, with a righteous fury burning in their restless hearts, they take to the stage their voices. Rising in unison, an open rebellion against tyranny, a defiant protest against the forces that seek to silence them. And then, with the courage of their convictions, that flame becomes their fire. They turn to music and lyrics, these become their weapons. An audio uprising echoing through the streets and across barricades, uniting voices in a sonic symphony. A symphony of defiance and hope. They found their courage in the belly of a fire.
كوراج طول عرض قاعد شي داز وخاطرني مشيت فيها عمرها شوك ورد قاعد قريب نفس المود واخا الصهد واخا البرد فراسي كاينه شحال من ايزوار ديما كاين عندي ليسبوار واخا الواقع قصح من طودوار دماغي كيما الناسكار العيشه كيما سكير فيس 7 2 without rest كتقاتل بحال شي بيست مايك از اون ما فيت المايك معايا فيت كنركب على كاع البيت شراب فيا فيس عيس وسط الام سيز بغيتو بعد ما باغيش نهار بغيتو ما بغانيش صغري بقى غيتعور واخا طاحت غنحاول مرة أخرى وغنقول بلي غدا راه نهار جديد واخا طاحت غنحاول مرة أخرى وغنقول بلي غدا راه نهار جديد. We will be alright.
Oh my God. I don't want anything to, not to stop me, but I don't need fake people, assholes in my life, that they will change the path of my life and my future. So my intention is to give them a chance to forget about me and let me do what I want.
I make art to disturb the silence. I'm not here to be pretty or palatable. I'm here to make my voice heard. Not to be a decoration, but a weapon.
That's a good, very good question. I think the reason why I'm doing this, or even I started to do it, was because it was something that was necessary. The youth needed an alternative. They need an alternative to whatever was out there. So the over-sexualization that's happening in music, the, misogyny, the disrespect, all of the violence, all of the, just the negativity, we needed something to combat that.
So after the revolution, I was somehow the voice of women in my country, and I was doing manifestations and flash mobs to fight for our rights.
Martin Luther King was saying that the only thing gonna overpower hate is love. So my whole thing was what I was bringing, love for the religion. I felt like this is greater than the negativity or the pushback. It's greater than the pushback.
People focus on the artist's flaws instead of focusing on the art itself. If the artist is not free to express themselves the way they want, then who's free? Who is free then?
Censorship. I can tell you that maybe
The whole people say that censorship is something worldwide, but they didn't experience censorship in Morocco, in Arab world. And I'm not talking about just women, but it's both of us, women and men. Whenever I write a lyric, I know that I'm in danger first, and I know that the government and some people, they will feel in danger zone because of my lyrics. And the thing that I'm not afraid of danger zone. Me and my lyrics are dangerous.
ميت ولا ما تسولني امتى هيوقفوا عليك غيديوك على بوينتا كاع ما باغيش نعيشو فيها ماشي غيرتا كنصلي غير في رمضان ولا باش طيح غيشتا تناقض تيمشي في الدم اللي دويتي معاه غتندم شاربين في كاسهم السم غيردوك كافر وخاصك تسلم غريبي في كلشي كيفهم مغربي على كلشي كيحكم غريبي غيطلع ليه الدم غيفاريها في الطاج ولا غيضرب الطم الرجوله اللي سامعين بيها واخا تكون كتباع ما غيشريوهاش عمرهم سول العيانة شنو خاصو كل واحد كيفكر غير راسو جرب تحل باب اللي حابسو غيصوفي ناسو وسنابي بمارسو كول وشرب تتموت راه ما بقيتي باغي والو اخا تبغي ياكلك الحوت
In music now, the mood and the vibe is how much is a drug addicted culture. How much drugs can we use? What kind can we use? Is it lean? Is it pills? We want to do this, we want to smoke that. And then it's like, how much alcohol can we use? I came in with mood and vibe and said, listen, I'm the mood, I'm the vibe, me the person that I'm bringing into the space. And what else looks like a mood and a vibe? Hey, getting tested for HIV. That's a mood and a vibe. Taking care of your family. That's a mood and a vibe. Going on vacation with your boo. Enjoying company of someone who you share time and space with that you care about. That's a mood and a vibe. Like, I was wanting the people to look at it from a whole different angle. We did a whole song. Nobody got shot and killed in the song.
I'm a mood, I'm a vibe, what? Chin up and head high. I'm a mood, I'm a vibe, chin up and head high. I'm pro-life, and I can prove it. Anti-gun violence, stop all the shootings. I speak peace, that is what I'm choosing when I choose the high road. I am never losing, life of the party. Sorry, not sorry. Eternal battle to have me a soldier without the army. I'm every color in the crayon box. I'm a legend, even though they say I'm not. True piece of work with a golden heart in my purse. Honor and loyalty, did that come first? Maturity don't have me debating with the jerks. I remove myself from combo, back it up, reverse. My presence is my dress code. I step when I step though. Reeboks, 90s, vibe, retro, price going up, just like petrol. Everybody say crypto stocks and bonds, that's the vibe. Taking care of your tribe, that's the vibe. Taking care of your
honestly, I had a lot of invitations around the world as an activist, but I never say I'm an activist. I'm a rapper. I am kind of doing activism with my art, but I don't say I'm an activist and I'm fighting them. I'm this really mad person who is always complaining about things. I'm a rapper, so I'm just doing my art, and of course I have to fight for my rights with my art.
شوف الغد في الأحلام
Conquistador, our industrial electronic music project, was originally formed out of Melbourne, Australia. So the project further evolved through our extensive travels to places like Istanbul, Bucharest, Casablanca, Marrakesh, and Cairo. We really explored and were introduced to new instruments like the oud, the kanun, the darbuka, the zurna, and sort of established very early on this hybrid sound, like our own genre, and we did away with any standard industry expectations. So these early development years, especially the time spent with master musicians, this prepared us for this moment, which is the inception of Nafada. Like at any cost, our mission for this music is to raise up and highlight controversial topics in support of the liberation and equality of and for women. So like really our core and raison d'etre has always been creating music that is causal, not casual, and we're only compelled to amplify provocative stories through the lens and lived experience of women.
This transcultural bond had been formed from a really unlikely beginning, right? There's no reason to think it wouldn't work, but there was also no reason to think it would, right? Like it was a big experiment. It could have gone any number of ways.
For me, Nafada, it's a kind of like a big opportunity because I need to talk about the things that I know a lot. It's about the problems that I face every day, me and other women in all over the world.
The social justice message of Nafada is pretty compelling. The more I learned about the lived experiences of our collaborators, the more I appreciated the synergies that existed between hip-hop and industrial cultures. Hip-hop is often deployed as a mode of resistance and a voice for marginalized groups to speak truth to power. And similarly, industrial music has a long history of being very critical of the media, politics, and the government. You know, there's a distinct anti-authoritarianism to it. So there's a good philosophical match between the two genres.
Our intention from the start was to explore genre bending, like to create our own signature sound. And in doing so, you know, we discovered that it is possible to bridge together and intersect hip hop and world music with industrial and electronic music.
I said, this is like rock or something. Like, I'm a hip hop artist. Like, I can play no rock music. I said, what is this? And I had other people listen to the beats and they was like on the same Like, they had the same thoughts that I had.
The mix of industrial music and hip-hop ought to create tensions because they're so sonically different.
And then I had to tell myself, okay, well, you should be an artist who isn't just stuck in a box. So Nafada, that's what they did for me, helped me to get out of the box. As you can see, when we came together with the other girls, I don't look like everyone else, but I fit because I'm talented like the other women, and we all are. I'm creative like the other women, beautiful like the other women, you know, motivated like the other women, badass like the other women. So then I didn't know how it was gonna go. I didn't know how it would work.
Would this work out? Would this produce something that neither party had expected but that they both liked? How would they be able to communicate across their norms and their conventions? Because the musicians who came to the project, none of them had ever worked with this style of production before, and none of them had ever rapped over these kinds of sounds before, and they're a kind of sound that come with a lot of baggage in some parts of the Arabophone world. So I was really interested in what potential conflicts there would be and how the musicians would work them out.
The ability of all the collaborators to flex and work with very unfamiliar musical terrain was really quite phenomenal. Eden was the first track, and then Medusa added her parts, and I remember listening to it in the car, and I had a real WTF moment. I didn't get it. I listened to it a lot, and eventually it sort of just clicked.
Looking back, we were all a little afraid of what we just created. We never created anything like this with Infestate before. He questioned it. We started to question it. I mean, this track is fierce. It's like this visceral intensity. It almost feels like dangerous, and we knew we needed a force, a powerful female voice to meet this epic moment.
Eden Women's War is a collaboration between me and the project Conquistador. I was totally in the project because it's something new, it's a new style, and I put a little bit of my craziness and thank God that everybody likes this.
لنيل القمم عشقا أحبت ولدت اعتنت فثقفت جيلا كرها ركعت عانت خضعت لسهل عقيدة تبا وألف تبا لمن لا يرى فيها نورا ثم يأتي من يداعبها يسعى لكسب مشاعرها يطعن في حريتها تزعجه إرادتها لأنها زهرة خالدة
The project started taking on a life of its own, and it kept finding new opportunities and new territory. You know, Michael Ibrahim, maestro and director for the National Arab Orchestra, signed on to reimagine Eden for a unique Arab women in music concert. This was a big moment for us, like an opportunity to share the stage and perform alongside a full orchestra. And that's where Nafada began to really take flight. It kept growing track over track, collaborator to collaborator. Like, it's still growing and continues to evolve with one central mission, which is music for cause and consciousness.
Surrounded by evil that's trying to deceive you, to thinking that we are not equal. Try to defeat you, try to define are the queens of the earth. Know that you're special. If he don't think so, then he is a vegetable. Let him know he ain't and let him go. You should think you are incredible. We could be better together. You should be tougher than leather. You are my treasure. That's how I know it's forever. You could be clever, but never should measure a creature that God has created in weather.
Spotify. It's hard to think of a time when Sultana's North American or European attention placed on her hasn't been in service of a larger narrative, which again boils down to liberal, global North, white people telling themselves about how to feel about their deeply embedded Islamophobia.
Academics, particularly in the humanities and social sciences, are very interested in relationships, and Nafada is all about relationships, many of which are dangerous, controversial, and oppressive.
It's ultimately an expression of racial capitalism, and I know that sounds ridiculously academic, right? But the way that capitalism works is making things that we want to buy by making things look endlessly different, and racializing people and putting them into boxes based on where they come from and their backgrounds and the trauma that they've sustained is a way of iterating and making different things for us to buy. And we are all inevitably wrapped up in it. We cannot avoid it.
That's where things can become more difficult, right? Like working with organizations that may tell you like, yo, you know, it's great the work you guys are doing, but we don't want like Black Lives Matter to show up in the imagery. You're like, what are you talking about? Like you're a philanthropic organization, right? That's a part. I mean, I read your website. Everybody has an equity piece on their website. Everybody has a social justice piece because it's popular. So I think what happens is, as creative organizations, you know, we're in capitalism.
Respect means sharing power, which is the most important thing. I've been used as a face, but not a voice. I was always silenced. So being heard is something extremely beneficial for all women that do music.
When we talk about exploitation, right, you have corporate entities that need something, right? We're kind of, when they say we're in this woke culture, it makes them look good to have this innovative, creative artist, right, to a degree.
I had many bad experiences, and I know now I'm mature, I'm grown up. I know now how to see the difference between the people who want to use us as female rappers and the people who want to just help us. The example is that here I am now. I'm just like, I'm getting back to where I was to be after a long time of disappearance.
كتشوف فيكم حياة عمرها اللي ضاع كتشوفوا فيها الحمر خيس كيتباع كتشوف فيكم كي هي بغات تكون كتشوفوا فيها شفت الدل شفت المدلول تبيع في شرافة حيت نتوما شاري اللي كاين منو ندز من حداكم ديروا فيها مسنين تعيش خوتها حيت تما مساكن هو عايش في الكريم وانت في الفيلا ساكن ما تلوموهوش ما تشفاوش ما تسبوش نزلي جنة غتكون تحت رجليهم ما تنساوش تقدر تكون امك تقدر تكون اختك تقدر تكون هي انا ولا انتيا صوت النساء ليه راني نادي صوت البنات يضيع وسط بلادي صوت اللي بغات تقول اللي بغات تقول صوتي قاعد يبغاو الهدايا باب التوبة محلول صوت النساء ليه راني نادي صوت البنات يضيع وسط بلادي صوت اللي بغات تقول اللي بغات تقول صوتي قاعد يبغاو التوبة اللي بغيت نقولو خليتهم دابي كتبو اللي بغيت نوصلو العباد كلها تعرفو شحال من جامع اصلو كان خربة شحال من راكع الماضي ديالو تخبى شحال البنات خرجوا الليل ونحافو شحال البنات عقرجوا وتابوا وانتي وحدة منهم عمرك ما تنساي الوردة تبقى ديما وردة عمرها ما تبدال صوت نساء ليه راني نادي صوت البنات يضيع وسط بلادي صوت اللي بغات تقول اللي بغات تقول صوتي قاعد يبغاو الهدايا باب التوبة محلول صوت النساء ليه راني نادي صوت البنات يضيع وسط بلادي صوت اللي بغات تقول اللي بغات تقول صوتي قاعد يبغاو الهدايا باب التوبة محلول صوت النساء صوت البنات صوت اللي بغات تقول
White savior complex, for sure that exists all over projects because it depends on who's consuming it, right?
It never occurred to me for a second that the Nafada project would have been undertaken at all with male MCs. I was entirely unsurprised by a North American ensemble's initiative to raise the voices of female MCs. Because the backdrop, the assumption, which is in many cases correct, is always that they will not get these opportunities on their own.
A telltale sign of like the white savior mentality is that folks want to do for us and think that they can do better than what we can do for us. And that's the disconnect.
A number of issues can come up, right? These kinds of collaborations, these kinds of circulations can be extractive. They can be innovative. They can be fundamentally building something new and profound, or they can fundamentally be taking advantage of somebody else.
If the backdrop of the conversation is all Muslim women are terribly oppressed, then finding a woman who is proud to be Muslim and proudly not oppressed is a great find for the narrative. But you've just traded one stereotype for another.
Look, these women are powerhouses. They made their own independent decision to be part of the project and continue to be part of the evolution of our collective. From new music in the works to live performances and showcases, I honestly can't think of a better benchmark indicator that this is truly a project of mutual equity and collaboration.
That's where the difference is when you talk about intent, what is the intent of the project? Who is the audience? What is the purpose? Like what are the artists participating? How do they benefit? What is their financial benefit? What is their real life benefit? You take all those things, not black or white, you take all those things into thought and you hope that the work is done with the best execution, intention, and critical lens that it can be done in the moment in time that you're in real time.
We're no strangers to cancel culture. We know who we are. Our intent was altruistic from the outset. Now, does that protect us? No, not at all. When a project like Nafada defies, conventional norms, it's like open season. Here come the critics, entangled in overthinking, fear, ignorance, or hatred, ready to distort your art and undermine its true intent.
Because we can see that now with Israel and Palestine. You had a lot of woke artists, right, that were out, had all these opportunities, but they're not willing to speak, right, against Israel, right? They're just not gonna do it because it's career suicide for them. But in the same level, speaking about Palestine and the history of Palestine, right? For some people are like, yo, speak about it, talk about it. And so you had this like degree of wokeness. There was almost like a level where they're like, don't go too far. You can be in this degree that's acceptable, but the minute you speak outside of that, we're gonna pull your opportunity.
I'm targeted from all sides. Some people say I'm haram. Some people say I don't belong. But being visible is always risky. So we just have to take the risk and go for it.
The first thing that we had to do is we had to shut down all comments on social media platforms just to keep our sanity. So we wrote that in 2018 and still haven't heard from anyone. No social engagement, no commercial success. So safety or success, we chose safety.
Dedication, commitment, honesty, I'm consistent. This for the rich, the middle class, the outcast and the indigent. Their empathy be so fake, cause they not really living it. I'm Asian, brown, I wanna fight. My vibe, you not killing it. It's my time. Swallow diamond, shine a whole day. Walk my path, no shortcut. Jill Scott, I took the long way. No handouts, no favors. Have you paid me? What they all say can expose me. No secrets, I just do it the song say.
Haram or halal. Look, when
Definition of haram, not allowed in our religion.
I don't reject faith, but I don't like it to be weaponized against my art, for to limit my art or to say that what I'm doing is haram. For me, expressing what you feel and in the best way that could help others, there's nothing haram about that.
In regards to Nafada and stuff, I think about Sahar and I think about what I was talking about and what space I was in when I wrote it and what was it about.
I'm exposed like the skin, to be this nice is a sin.
And I start off the song like dedication, commitment, honesty, consistent, you know what I'm saying? Like talking about key terms, key things that people need that are good characteristics. It's good to be dedicated. It's good to be committed to things. You know, it's good to be consistent. It's with dedication and commitment and consistency that you could see success. How could this be haram? This was me speaking about my soul.
I completely understand the other side and how do they see things, but it doesn't affect the way how I see things. So for me, I'm not doing anything that's forbidden or that's haram. Expressing yourself, your feelings, maybe that could help others. So for me, that's very beneficial.
You know, we always go and wonder whether or not what music is haram or halal, and we won't know. And I think it's pretty petty for anyone to just automatically assume that we all going to hell because we either listen to music or we make music.
When the politics gets into religion, makes it harder for the people to live naturally. So all I want is peace and love. And the word haram, it makes it so difficult for me and for the world, because when it's haram for me and it's halal for other people, it's not fair. So God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, created us to live and to treat people good, and that's the only thing that I care about. But the word haram, it's not in my dictionary. No more.
عارفة راسي كي بديت، عارفة فين باغا نوصل، دموعي تيفكروني لا نسيت الخيب اللي داز في حياتي خطك حل، الفقر بالواقع وقت اللي تيضيع عام ورا عام، تنسنا غير الحل، بيبان كيتسد في وجه باب كيتحل، واخا الوان عين كيشوف بيضو كحل، بعيد على كتبهم ما صابراش الدل، بسلاسل مكبلة مخنوقة بحبل، ما كنافقش كنبان ليهم في شكل، كيعياو يحفروا كيطيحوا في الوحل، واقفة في راس الجبل بوحدي كنهلل، يا نوصل يا محصل، باقا غنفوت الحد اللي كيفصل، غنحرك فيا روح الفرح اللي تشل.
Why did we deconstruct the veil? That's a fair question. Well, for starters, I'm Canadian. I was born into bilingualism and multiculturalism. I live in Detroit now, one of the largest Arab diasporas outside of the Middle East. So a healthy curiosity for Arab culture is second nature to me. Now you take recent history, including the severe conflict and human rights violations in places like Yemen, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria. Detroit is a landing ground for Arab newcomers, and I fully embrace this inclusion. Many don't, and many see it as a threat. And there's a growing intolerance for new Arab and Muslim Americans, especially for women who wear the veil. Like others before us, this intolerance piqued our curiosity, and through our research, we discovered the book Deconstructing the Veil, the sexualization of Muslim women, that influenced a lot of our image making for Nafada. So we did just that. We built a creative team and literally deconstructed the veil.
You see a lot in Detroit. You see women wearing head-to-toe burqas all the time, but you don't necessarily always think, why are they wearing the burqa? What is it important to them? Is that something that they want to be doing? Are they being forced to do it? Are they not being forced to do it? And so to take it apart is to take apart the question of why women are wearing the burqa in the first place.
The part I was very nervous about was maintaining respect with the deconstruction. That part made me nervous, and I was trying to be really careful not to harm anybody through my experimentation, because I think there's empowerment in modesty, and I think there's empowerment in non-modesty. And in somebody who wants to empower all feminine people, I think you need to appreciate both.
I think everybody's intentions should be known when you're doing sensitive art in terms of cultural, no, I almost said nonsense, but that's just me being affectionate. Cultural work, cultural references. It's a hard question. We should be able to do things, but we have to be aware when we do things.
I can see maybe why people would think that there's an issue, but I also think that people will find an issue with just about anything. So take the risk.
At that time in my life, when I took that at face value, I had not done the appropriate human homework to be able to look at things through the lens that I'm able to look at them now. Looking back, I would have, vetted who was on this project. I would have really considered, should I be altering this burqa? I would have looked more into what it means. I would have probably consulted more people of the culture.
I thought it was a really interesting project because, I'm Jewish, and there's a lot of modest dress for most Jewish people. I'm very, pro-woman, and if you want to dress outrageous and slutty and crazy, go for it. And if you want to wear a burqa, go for it. But if you're being forced to do either one of those things, that's the problem. That's a problem.
I don't know if I would do that again today because I'm incredibly sensitive. I'm very sensitive to cancel culture. I find it very intense, but I do take responsibility for things that I have said and done in the past, and we learn from it, we become better human beings, and we move on.
Okay, right. Let's revisit Spotify. It was always about staying true to the art. Sony Music Middle East were straight up about it. Change the language of the lyrics? Nope. Censor some of the lyrics? No. Get rid of certain collaborators? No. Spotify was a little different. We had a phone conversation with an executive who had real concerns about some of the promotional imagery we were creating. He was particularly fixated on the Eden video. He was perplexed that we didn't view the images like he did, and he viewed it all as satanic worship. So he called into question our fitna. In other words, our own inner battle between right and wrong. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. Here's the thing. I had to educate him that in antiquity, the bull skull and horns were worshipped as symbols of femininity and fertility, not Satan. And more to the point, we were visually drawing comparisons to the fallopian tubes and the uterus. Female project, feminine iconography.
As a woman artist, everything is about how you look. And when we're, the people who are behind most of this writing check, Those a lot of time are men, and men are visual creatures. They like what they see. You have to show them stuff. So although I may show them this colorful headscarf with a rainbow, 1,000 colors, some of them may like it, but they much rather probably see your hair. You know, they much rather see your hair and your boobs and your booty and your hips. This is men, and they write in check. And they don't care nothing about religion. So it's really about, we got to make choices. We got choices to make, right?
They are only talking about women. So for me, this is a sexual obsession, nothing else.
I'm more interested in people hearing my voice instead of looking at my image or my body. That's the most important thing. I want my voice to be heard, not to be focused on my features or how my body looks like. Yes, that's the most important thing for me.
Within the realm of Islam, we've dealt with, as women, we've dealt with some gender bias. So, of course, there's a large amount of haters that are the men. I come along and I do what you do better than you do it. Like, I'm your competition now.
Limitation and putting boundaries and being scared of the risks and everything, that does limit your art somehow. And I wish if it was more freedom for us to express ourselves without being scared or fear anything.
I don't know, when we talk about women, actually, you know what? I hate this Global Day of Women and this Fest of Mothers, and because it's like we are not enough good, and we want to show to men that we are good and we exist. We are more than the half of the humanity. Women are okay. They are okay, and they just need to be proud of themselves, to have the head up, and to do what they are doing.
So me talking about domestic violence, me talking about things that are happening within our religion, and telling on men when they mistreat the women. Me empowering women is going to make a lot of people, husbands who aren't treating them right, very upset.
It's completely risky, of course, to be expressing yourself in a way that no one is used to it. The mask does protect me as Minerva. For other females, I think they are at their risk. I'm still at their risk also, but it's way less than without the mask. So it gives me much freedom to express, and I can protect my private life completely. So that's a plus for me, that others don't have.
كوتش versus كوتش تنجح أمريكين طاح خلخال تكحلب ترموشتي واقفة كتشطح عين الشيء دلونا ملي كتسطح ستيتش عندي في الظلام تحلو لي في سطح تحلو لي في صحة ما فيها لا ريد ولا باب نجومها طاغين قربة وكباب نجومها وروني شو الرندة من الرجاب تربية جميل حب ماشي حرب لي جاب كل مجهول غدا قفلة ما كاين أمان دكتورة تشوشي كراني يقول لك بامال فين كتبان هدو تيقة وطمال عاوش كوكوشي مش مساك نعدا القمر غدو الصحراء صحي فرق مستقلي وليت كنفكر بالشهر وقيلا عصقلي راسي بعدو فات الماء ما عليكيش بالي أما واحد قلبي راه وسطقلي ماشلي غدو الصحراء صحي فرق مستقلي وليت كنفكر بالشهر وقيلا عصقلي راسي بعدو فات الماء ما عليكيش بالي أما واحد قلبي راه وسطقلي ماشلي المايندسيت حوالك يجيو كاع ما كاين ديفرنس درهم بيسي فكرك العكس ماشي ريفرنس ديجا راها كلوز كيس كاع ما بقيت الإيفيدنس مرحبا بيك في رابا AKA evil residents mindset حوالك يجيو كاع ما كاين ديفرنس درهم بيسي فكرك العكس ماشي ريفرنس ديجا راها كلوز كيس كاع ما بقيت الإيفيدنس مرحبا بيك في رابا AKA evil residents واقع لي كني شو كيتي بوليلا بريفيجن واش مقدرة ولا ليلة لقيتي بكل ودمتي
So we're all aware that we're taking part in racist narratives. That's why I say that there is really no way for Sultana and her colleagues to be in the public sphere and not have to deal with those.
And so if what we want is to work together with our cultural backgrounds with the things that we have. If you want to share it, you can. If you don't have to. So when working with different people, I think you just need to find people you click with, or people that, you know, both parties or all the parties agree that this is what we're doing.
A project like this that will gather and support female artists and will want nothing in return, that's extremely, the intent is so pure. And that's what I try to provide in my music. That's why I did work with Nafada. It's the pure intentions that they have. They try to represent these women in the best way possible so they can express themselves and how they feel.
Hope, yeah, exists. I just lost faith. Now, I'm just like going like this. I don't want to go back.
Talking about the real problems is very important because there is thousands and maybe millions of rappers who talk about shit. So if we listen once to a song which talk about real problems, maybe this will change our mind and help people to act and not only to skimp on the social media.
This appeared to be a collaboration that came out of, or at least turned into, a friendship, right? A friend, like a friendship that involved trust, because you can collaborate without that.
The project itself helped to showcase a part of me that I didn't even know was in me. And then now coming to Detroit, Concert of Colors, then really stamped it for me what it's like somewhat to have a musical family, even if it was for a weekend.
éphémère, même le partage. Je préfère écouter celui qui ne parle pas. Les gens changent et les chiffres mentent. Fais le tri, faut pas mettre de déchets dans ton backpack. Si je me méfie de ce que tu dis, c'est pour me prémunir. On m'a dit que le love était une arnaque. Je peux pas t'offrir mon cœur, c'est pas la clé du Nil. Mais si je t'aime vraiment, s'il te plaît, ne pars pas. Faire la part des choses, on me l'a déjà dit. Je connais la carotte, on me l'a déjà faite. Je voulais pas faire du sale, la table est déjà mise. Je me regarde dans le miroir, on est déjà 1000. Qui me bande des doigts, essaye de viser la lune. Je vais les fumer comme sous ma vaisselle dans de l'alu. J'ai encore rien fait, mais ils attendent déjà ma chute. Je leur passe le salam de loin dans la rue. Viens pas mettre ton gros nez dans mes affaires. Y'a que mes petites culottes qui sentent le paradis. Il n'y a qu'en apparence que j'ai des attraits. Ouais, je me sens appartenir à aucun de vos paradigmes. Y'a beaucoup d'entraves sur le chemin de la réussite. Je sens déjà le hate, oui la gloire c'est par là. Ils parlent de soutien mais c'est la pénurie. Ils n'auront jamais de talent de Keanu Reeves.
fie pas à ma carrure. Ce n'est pas en leur si dans tes rêves je suis apparu. Elles sont trompeuses, les apparences. Et du feu caché derrière la douceur de ma parure. Donc cherche mes mots, eux ils cherchent des balles. Il sera de la violence face à moi se retrouvera caduque. Ils veulent prendre tout, moi je veux faire des parts. Et sur terre et la tête dans les nuages sous ma capuche. Chacun son truc, moi c'est le rap, pour toi c'est le Scrabble. Le chêne du doigt, si tu n'es qu'un arbuste. Aujourd'hui faut se méfier même de tes sahabs. Tu sais jamais vraiment à qui tu laisses son dos en pâture. Je viens pour remettre dans le ciel des stars. J'ai pas le temps de parler mal avec ma bouche, c'est pas un anus. En marchant sur les autres qu'on se démarre. Quelqu'un n'a pas besoin de prendre, elle a déjà bien allure. Sur le beat, je fais du karaté. Kyokushin, Mawa, Shigeri. On est au sommet, eux ils ont tout raté. Des rapous, criés balafrés comme Ribéry. Sur le beat, je fais du karaté. Kyokushin, Mawa, Shigeri. On est au sommet, eux ils ont tout raté. Des rapous, criés balafrés comme Ribéry.